So joining us to kick off this morning is someone who I hope will be no stranger to any of you, Deputy Secretary of Agriculture, Jewell Bronaugh. Prior to her confirmation at USDA, she was the commissioner of the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. She previously served as a Virginia State Executive Director of the Farm Service Agency. She received her Ph.D. in Career and Technical Education from Virginia Tech. So please help me welcome our virtual speaker, Deputy Secretary of Agriculture, Jewell Bronaugh.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Good morning to everyone. I really appreciate the opportunity today to kick off the Ag and Food Policy Summit with a few words. It sounds like you all have a very exciting conference planned. Sarah, I appreciate the trivia question, which I may or may not have gotten right, but it's just great to have those types of discussions and those educational opportunities. And as Sarah mentioned, tomorrow is a big day for the agriculture industry and for USDA as we celebrate National Ag Day. This is a time to mark the accomplishments we shared together throughout the past year and recommit to advancing the policies and priorities that will ensure a future of agriculture and a food system that is bright, strong, resilient, and innovative. And importantly, this is a time to give extra thanks to those who grow, harvest, and process and distribute the food, fuel, and fiber essential to the nation and the world. Over the past 2 years, farmers, ranchers, and producers have faced unprecedented circumstances while continuing to supply high-quality U.S. agricultural products. One needs to look no further than our recent export numbers to see that American agriculture is dedicated, determined, resilient, and innovative. And Putin's war on Ukraine has heightened awareness of the essential need for strong and resilient food and food supply chains. And Sarah mentioned this as well. In 2021, agricultural exports shattered records and forecasts predict another record year. Demand for American agricultural products here and abroad has rebounded and has remained strong and growing. And we're committed to further strengthening the supply chains that keep American agriculture on the move. Just last week, the Port of Seattle joined USDA's ongoing efforts to ease port congestions and restore disrupted shipping services for U.S. ag commodities. USDA is partnering with the Northwest Seaport Alliance at the Port of Seattle to enhance access to a 49-acre pop-up site to accept either dry agricultural or refrigerated containers for temporary storage so they can more quickly be loaded on ships at the export terminals. This is in addition to the partnership we established with the Port of Oakland to set up a 25-acre pop-up site to provide space to fill empty containers. And we will continue to engage in the Biden-Harris administration's supply chain task force efforts to benefit farmers, ranchers, rural communities, and agricultural companies. This is key to ensuring we keep American agriculture on the move and remain a reliable supplier of goods abroad. While we boost exports abroad, we're also building more new and better market opportunities here at home. At the start of this year with President Biden, we announced a commitment to invest $1 billion in American Rescue Plan funds to expand independent processing capacity. This will help move us towards a fair, more competitive, and more resilient meat and poultry supply chain. And just recently, we announced that USDA will make available $250 million through a new grant program this summer to support independent, innovative, and sustainable American fertilizer production for American farmers. In addition to lack of competition in the meat processing industry, as you know, there's also a lack of competition in the fertilizer industry. We know this is an area that producers are very concerned about as they have seen sudden and significant price increases for fertilizer in recent months. So similar to the meat and poultry processing grants, we're providing the new Fertilizer Grant program, which will provide gap financing to bring independent domestic production capacity online. Our goal is to support independent production, outside of the dominant fertilizer suppliers to increase competition in a concentrated market. The program will be focused on Made in America, benefiting domestic companies and domestic production. And it will be innovative and sustainable, taking the opportunity to make improvements in conventional fertilizer to jumpstart the next generation of fertilizers and to use renewable energy sources for a smaller environmental footprint. We also continue to adopt policies and incentives to position agriculture, forestry, and rural America to be a meaningful solution to the problem of climate change. USDA has embarked upon a department-wide effort to enact climate-smart agriculture, forestry, and rural clean energy policies that are voluntary, flexible, and led by producers. As Secretary Vilsack says, we know that our policies must work for producers in order to work for climate. We are utilizing existing conservation programs that are coordinated with climate-smart agricultural practices to support producers in making their operations more climate-friendly and resilient to climate change. Additionally, we have launched partnerships for climate-smart commodities, an investment of $1 billion to support the production and marketing of climate-smart commodities through a series of partner-led pilot projects. Partnerships for climate-smart commodities will add value and create new revenue streams for American producers. These projects will also measure, monitor, and verify the carbon and greenhouse gas benefits for producing climate-smart commodities. We are looking to cover an inclusive and broad set of folks from across the country, agriculture and forestry, with this opportunity available to producers of all sizes, all methods, all locations, and all types of productions. That's because in all we do at the department, we are looking to provide bridges to help new producers become our next generation of farmers through a wide variety of efforts. We want to reduce the barriers that make it difficult for some users to access our programs and services. I'm deeply honored to serve as co-chair of the newly formed Equity Commission. The Forward Thinking Commission and its Subcommittee on Agriculture offer the historic opportunity to identify structural barriers and submit recommendations to the Secretary on ways to address them for the benefit of all American farm and agricultural sectors, underserved communities, and rural America. The Equity Commission was authorized and funded by Congress as part of the American Rescue Plan, and it provides us the opportunity to launch additional subcommittees focused on other areas of the work we do at USDA. So as the Commission and its Subcommittee on Agriculture continue to examine how we can better serve our nation's farmers and ranchers, we will soon announce plans to launch a subcommittee on rural communities and economic development in the coming weeks. Simultaneously, USDA teams are hard at work finalizing the Equity Action Plan and DEIA strategic plan to continue to address inequities in our programs and policies, but also to invest in producers and communities in need, build trust, and make USDA a great place to work for everyone. Though the work is far from done, Secretary Vilsack and I are truly proud in all we have done and plan to accomplish in the equity space. But we cannot do this alone. We look forward to working with all of you to ensure we have a true standard of fairness, diversity, equity, and inclusion, not only at USDA, but across the agriculture sector. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on our work to advance nutrition security for all Americans. Last week, we released a report that highlights our actions and commitments to ensuring the consistent access of safe, nutritious food that supports optimal health and well-being for all Americans. COVID-19 underlined the importance of nutrition assistance programs, and we are building on the innovation required by our pandemic response to increase access to healthy, affordable food with a special emphasis on tackling diet-related diseases. At USDA, we have outlined a 4-pillar strategic approach to leverage all of our assets to move toward nutrition security. This includes providing nutrition support through all stages of life, connecting all Americans to healthy, safe, affordable food sources, developing, translating, and enacting nutrition science through partnership, and prioritizing equity every step of the way. By complementing our food security effort and nutrition security, we can continue to recover from the pandemic, improve health outcomes, and address health disparities to help give all Americans a chance for a healthy future. From connecting Americans to a healthier future, to creating more new and better markets, to advancing equity, or addressing the climate crisis through climate smart solutions. These are the conversations that are occurring at USDA and across the industry, across the broad spectrum each and every day. For every challenge in front of us, we also see opportunities, and we are here to embrace those opportunities for the benefit of American agriculture in our rural communities. As we turn our attention to the 2023 Farm Bill, we are looking forward to working with Congress to ensure that the programs that USDA implements will best serve all people in the challenges facing us today. We are committed to leveraging our expertise and meaningful data to give feedback and better understanding about how our programs are working and where they aren't, and sharing where we may need additional flexibilities to better address the evolving and ever-changing needs and challenges across the country. There's a lot of work to be done, but I have no doubt that you all are up to the task, and I trust that today's thoughtful dialogue will help to lift up important perspectives and share new viewpoints. I hope you all have a great Ag and Food Policy Summit and a great National Ag Day. Just remember to celebrate your successes while looking to the future and at every possibility to embrace every opportunity. USDA is truly grateful to be your partner in these efforts and thankful for what you contribute to our great nation on National Ag Day and during each and every day of the year. So I just say to all of you, thank you so much, and I wish you all very well.
President and CEO of the National.
Well, thank you, Deputy Secretary, and it's really great to have her opinions, I think, as part of our kickoff of our discussions today. Before we move to our next panel, we're going to hear the first of several sponsor videos, and we want to thank all of our sponsors for making this event possible. You can see their logos on your table tents, so the signage outside, and we just really appreciate you so much for making this event possible. Our first sponsor video is going to be our platinum sponsor, National Council of Farmer Cooperatives. And then after that, I'm going to turn the podium back over to Spencer Chase, who will be moderating a session that's going to be a little bit different in terms of a Farm Bill dialogue. You know, oftentimes we look in the rearview mirror about what things need to change because of what we've seen. Our next speaker is going to address some of the things that are happening on the consumer front in terms of what consumers are expecting out of producers in future farm policy. So with that, let's welcome our sponsor video.
Hello, I'm Chuck Connor, President and CEO of the National Council of Farmer Cooperatives, and I would like to welcome you to this year's Agri-Pulse Ag and Food Policy Summit. I'm looking forward to seeing many of you here in person this week as we show signs of returning to some normalcy here in the nation's capital. Really a special thanks though goes to Sara and the rest of the crew at Agri-Pulse. They've pulled together another fantastic summit, another fantastic program, and I know I'm looking forward, and I think you will too, to the discussions that are going to occur throughout this time. This Farm Bill will be the 9th that I've worked on in my time in Washington. And it goes without saying that the environment, as we gather this week to discuss the 2023 Farm Bill, is one that none of us have ever seen before. We are making our way out of a once-in-a-century pandemic that both highlighted the shortcomings of our food and agricultural supply chain, but also really did show the resiliency that we have built in with American farmers and ranchers and food producers in this country, something that we're so thankful for. We are seeing inflation at levels that we haven't seen really in over 40 years since I was a young boy, and this is a remarkable change of circumstances. Russia's invasion of the Ukraine has further spiked commodity, fertilizer, energy prices, all at a time when they were already on the rise. And it really does remind us, ladies and gentlemen, that food security is a fundamental national security issue. So I look forward to our discussions today as we explore the implications of these and so many other issues that are going to be critical and fundamental to the 2023 Farm Bill. And I'm glad that NCFC and my cooperative members have been able to bring this program to you by joining with Agri-Pulse as a sponsor. So thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you.